Hello YouTube, I'm about to have a Tonal 2 installed, and I thought you'd appreciate to see a video that's not sponsored and that is produced by someone who appreciates tech and who at some point in his life used to be pretty strong. About 10 years ago, I was pretty heavy into weightlifting. I did several years, I guess it was 4 years of starting strength and 5-3-1, Mark Ripizzo and some other people, and was pretty strong. I was squatting like 315, reps, and deadlifting 425. I think that was my max actually. But regardless, I was doing a lot. Not so much anymore. I'm pretty lazy these days, but that's why I'm getting a Tonal. Yes, it's expensive. I'll get into my thoughts on that stuff later and the subscription cost and all those sorts of things. But the idea here is this. I used to have this equipment. And this was everything I had to use to work out. And, that's great and all. But the problem is, of course, you got to load plates onto it. It's cumbersome. It takes time. And even just a little bit of friction involved from a time standpoint. If you're buying your time back, it's really invaluable if you're trying to stay healthy. So that's my thoughts on that. So what we did was now we have this wall that is kind of faux finished. And the idea here is to have it ready to accept the Tonal 2, which is their new model that came out in January 2025. I left a little space at the bottom and the top for cables and stuff because this is unfinished after all. My whole basement's unfinished. This is our big giant workout area at this point. So anyway, I'm going to be videoing, if they'll let me, the install and then giving you some pros and cons and my thoughts on everything after it's done. So stay tuned. All right, guys, pretty cool. That was a relatively quick setup. I think it took about 45, 50 minutes for the total thing from start to finish, which is not bad at all. These guys were really friendly and very helpful, very professional. I mean, they did a great job. Well, now that I've got this on the wall, I'm going to give a really quick overview of the hardware because this is something I think a lot of people have missed, and I'm just going to give my first impressions of the quality of it and things like that. So these arms obviously are the main attraction here, but up here at the top, you've got this plastic, and it is plastic, but you don't really ever touch this. You're going to dust it periodically, and I guess you could put a towel up there if you wanted to, but it serves no other real purpose except for probably to cover some electronics or something. This is the camera that can watch you while you do your reps, and you can turn that off if you want to, but it'll actually criticize if you make mistakes on your reps and give you pointers on how to improve them so you don't damage yourself, so you don't hurt yourself. The arms themselves, this part's plastic, this little sheath here, but the rest of these are very nice feeling metal. This is metal. This is like a high density rubber. It really does feel high quality. And then these handles, I'm going to show you how these operate. Handles here, if you pull these, the arms very smoothly adjust upwards and downwards, all the way down to the bottom and all the way up to the top. And it doesn't require any real strength. And the cool thing about this is you can adjust these under what they call active recovery, which means that you're actually doing things, but you're kind of recovering your muscles between sets and you're not wasting time. And it makes this whole thing much more efficient. And then these handles here, just to show you how these work, this adjusts the elevation of the arm upward and downward because, every exercise needs different things. You'll see these little indicators on the screen that show which angle that you're adjusting. And then these buttons here do the rotation. And again, look at the screen here. You can see how it indicates the current rotation setting for the arm. And when you're doing an actual exercise, it will tell you where it's supposed to be set so you don't make any mistakes on that, which is really neat. And then over here, actually, I'm going to show you this. Everything is wireless. Okay, this is a very key point, actually. These things all connect, including the accessories and the arms, over Bluetooth protocol. So you do have batteries that you have to replace. A lot of people don't know this. This is a battery compartment. It's intended for alkaline batteries, not nickel metal hydride rechargeables, not lithium, because apparently alkaline has a more stable voltage all the way down to discharge. So that's what that is. You only have to replace it once every few or several months or something, apparently. It's not that big a deal. Last thing I want to show, though, are the accessories. So down here, and this is really neat, how they connect and disconnect. These T-locks, as they call them, are supposedly proprietary. You just push and turn, and the things come out and go in like this, and they're very much secure in the connection. These buttons here turn the weight on and off at will. So you can press it at any point and it will trigger on the weight gradually, but pretty quickly, so that the electromagnetic tension starts when you press these buttons and stops when you press the buttons. The other accessories, just kind of give you an idea of how they work. We've got this little storage shelf that we bought, which does not come with it. Neither do the accessories, by the way. They're $4.95 separately, which is crazy. I'm going to press and turn. And the bar is just a bar, but it has this BCM, as they call it, which is a bar control module. And it functions the way the rest of these other buttons do. It turns the weight on and off. And then the new function, or the new accessory, I should say, that is something they added with Tonal 2, is the dual connection rope, which does not have any buttons on it or anything like that. You're just going to go to the screen and tap to turn the weight on and off when you use this. And it can connect to both arms simultaneously, which allows for, double the weight and aero functionality, which is like almost cardiovascular plus strength exercises. So again, just like the arms, the accessories also have batteries that have to be replaced, of course. And the way that works is you've got this little button here that you press and it removes this side. And then this side kind of just slides right on out. And there's your alkaline AA battery in this case. To put it back together, you just press, kind of root it around till you find where it slots in. And that's it. The batteries have been replaced. And then as for the bar, again, the bar is just a bar, but you've got this clip-on bar control module, which kind of just slides up and down the bar to wherever you want it to be. Again, the accessories are really nicely made. It's got this little Tonal, subtle branding here. And then you can pull this to get to the single AAA alkaline battery on the bar control module. So it's all really easy to replace. It's not like it's inconvenient. It's not a lot of batteries. People complain about this stuff, but I think it's part of the technology and it has to be done. And it's probably better than rechargeable. So you also get this like foam roller thingy, which I've not yet used, but I'm sure my wife will, with the accessories package. And then you get this mat, which again has Tonal branding subtly up here. You can use it with shoes, with or without shoes. It's got a nice little cushion to it. Works pretty well. You use this a lot during warm-ups and in-betweens and stuff like that, stretches, etc. And then you get a bench. And the bench is a pretty standard bench, but it's not weak. It's not like cheap or anything like that. I mean, you can't adjust it or anything. It's a fixed height, but it works well with Tonal. Obviously, it's designed for the exercise. It's got nice embroidery here. It feels pretty high quality, honestly, overall. I think mine's a little bit, I think one side is not completely the same, or maybe my basement floor. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm going to try messing with these, but these are little rubber feet like most benches have. I do like it. Overall, the accessories are nice. Are they worth $500? I mean, you kind of have to have them. So yes, the answer is you have to have the accessories. If you buy the Tonal without the accessories, I don't really know what you're going to do with it, except for like yoga and body weight exercises and things like that. So, and again, finally, this does not come with it, but this is the storage shelf that I bought separately for $200-something extra. It's just a nifty, kind of convenient way to store the accessories. It's really easy to install. There's like 8 screw holes, and it comes with a bracket you can mark, and then you just slide the front onto it, and then you screw 2 final screws in the top to secure it. They say it holds 45 pounds. I'm sure it's probably more than that if you screw it into studs and have it pretty secure. And again, the accessories are easy to attach and detach. You just twist and push. Doesn't feel like these are going to wear out too much because the ends of the accessories are rounded, and these holes it's pretty robust, really. So I like it overall. The idea is frictionless, right? It's convenience. The idea is to get into and out of exercises and move on to the next one with as little friction as possible to make this convenient and to reduce the chances that you're going to skip or kind of lay down in your exercise. Okay, I'm going to try to give a quick tour of this interface here, which is something I really wish had been available on the internet before I ordered mine. Not to say it's bad. I actually think it's quite good, but it's just something that's missing. So you sign in, and then up here at the top, you've got your profile. And of course, there's various options there. And you've got Home, Explore, and Custom. I'll come back to that in a minute. But you can pull down, and you also get brightness. You can adjust different volume levels for different things. This is really cool. So you got your overall, your music, your coach, which is the coach's voice, and then the sound effects and the coaching cues, which is like where, for instance, if you're doing a lift incorrectly, it actually watches you using this little, well, you can't see it. I showed you earlier, but the little camera watches you and will tell you with audible coaching cues and also little pop-up messages down at the bottom next to the lift information of what you need to do to improve it. And then this is for music. You can actually, in here, you can do Apple Music, Amazon Music, and then Tonal Radio. Tonal Radio is just like different stations that have various types of music, and they're pretty good. I had some hard rock going because, that's how I roll with my workouts. Actually, I don't listen to any music, but if I'm going to listen to anything, I'm going to listen to something that's, got me headbanging while I'm doing some lifts. So then you've got your network stuff and Bluetooth, and you can connect Bluetooth headphones and things like that on that one. This is Smart View, which actually controls whether the camera is turned on to watch you work out, and it will give you, notifications again if you mess up, but it also will take clips that you can download later. And if you want to disable those, you can get those in the app. That's how that happens. Here, this is the actual main tonal menu for the actual hardware. You've obviously got your time zone, the accessories you can add. Mine currently has a problem, which I'll come back to in a bit and I'll explain to you. They're actually going to be swapping it out in a week or two, but I wanted to go ahead and get this video up because a lot of people are probably watching this for Black Friday. You've got the accessories that I've got here. So the smart handles and the bar control module, which actually goes on the bar, like I showed you earlier. And then the ankle straps, which I don't have yet, unfortunately, which I wish I had. And those are the accessories. And they all connect over Bluetooth, which works well, apparently, most of the time. It does not work on mine, unfortunately. So that's one of the big pain points. And it's the reason they're replacing mine, actually. There's nothing that can be done about it. And then over here, you can actually put it to sleep. That's pretty much all that is, or turn it off and lock the screen, etc. if you're trying to do like cleaning of the screen. And then under the home menu, this is kind of where everything typically lives. And the best thing about this is you turn it on, it ends up in this home screen, and then you literally just hit play and go with your workout. Right now, I've already done this one today, so I can't do it. But you can also view the schedule. You can see the summary. You can go through and see, exactly what. Well, let me skip this. You can go through and see exactly what this entails, like, various things that you're going to be doing in this workout, the movements that are involved, and it shows you all the information about those. Of course, you can scroll through and see information on that. This is my current muscle setup. Like, it shows where I'm recovered, it shows where I'm recovering, and it shows where I'm fatigued. And yes, my butt does hurt right now, so that's actually accurate. And you can see various blocks here. This is pretty cool. It shows you where your PRs are if you've done a really good job with various lifts. You've got work, time under tension, duration. These are all really cool statistics that you can also find in the app to get in the muscle view. So this is all a really neat interface, I think. I like how they've got this. You can edit the schedule, by the way. So if you don't like how it's set up, you can actually make it work with whatever days you want. If you happen to be unable to do a particular workout on a particular day, it doesn't matter. You just skip it and it moves on to the next day. You don't get any kind of stigma. There's no criticism or anything like that, which is really nice. Here's the workout details for this one. I love this guy, by the way. He's awesome. I'm a little quick note about this. I'm not a huge lover of guided workout stuff. I thought I was going to hate it. This guy's great. He's hilarious. He's very relatable. Really like Akeem. So I'm going to be doing a lot of his. But this shows you the goals of the workout. You can see what it's going to try to improve for you. And it kind of gives you the ideas on the blocks. And then you could either do full weight or recovery. And this is if you're, if you're trying to recover, if you have like an injury or something like that. And then you can start the workout, or you can even do a partner or a group workout, which is really cool. So you can actually have like somebody with you doing other things. I'm just kind of showing you some of these options because literally no one has shown this stuff. And I just think the interface is better than advertised. It really is. Let's see. Let's go back here and look at this final option. Program summary kind of gives you an idea of, I guess this is just the overall thought process. My strength score is really weak right now. I just started, and I'm pretty sure they mismeasured my lower body, but it might have been because of these weights not coming on and turning off properly. I may have to do the weight assessment again when I get the new one. I did buy the Pilates loops for my wife. Those are coming, but we don't have them yet. So you can see editor's picks. This is kind of like where you can explore and see what else you can do. The arrow stuff is the new stuff that's only available on Tonal 2. Basically what that is almost like a combination between weightlifting, weight training, and like cardiovascular type stuff. So that's a really neat idea. Maybe you don't need a Peloton after all. And then of course there's all the conventional stuff. And this is for my goals. So when you set up a profile, it actually asks you what your goals are. And I said, I think build muscle and stay healthy or something along those lines. I don't know. And so it gives me things that are recommended for that. So yeah, there's all kinds of nifty stuff here in the home. Oh, by the way, this daily lift thing, this is really cool. This is a new feature they just added that uses apparently AI to recommend to you if you don't want to do a class or a program or something like that. If you're really not into that, or you just don't feel like doing it, or if you just want to supplement, it will tell you based on what the current status of your muscles is, what you should be doing to supplement or improve your health. And look at this. It actually just recommends things in particular sequences and you can set the length of it. You can set, again, your goals and all that kind of stuff. And it does it based on that. You can also customize it if you want to do certain things. Apparently you do that in the app. I haven't done that yet. Really cool. Really, really cool. Love the interface. So up here in Explore, then you can kind of go through, and if you're, again, the daily lift really takes the top here because they want to show you that. It's a really cool feature. This is the one I'm currently doing, Absolute Strength. This is a very popular one, 12 weeks to jacked. It's apparently very difficult. I don't think I'll be doing that yet because it's been a little while since I've done strength training. You can up here see workouts, and again, they've got them sorted. This is almost like Netflix style, right? You can just really easily pick through like pre and postnatal. Look at that, it's cool. Dance, cardio, meditation, and there's a lot. It's not like lacking for content. Jack-o'-lantern for the Halloween theme here that we've got, because we just got past fall, or just into fall. I mean, past Halloween. So I'm just scrolling to show you these programs. So this sorts based on programs. So you can actually join, week to week stuff. So things that are like 4 weeks, 12 weeks, again, that sort of thing. Currently I'm in, again, Absolute Strength. It's a 2-week, 4 times a week program. It's apparently advanced. I didn't know that. I don't think that really matters that much, by the way. The advanced, intermediate, beginner stuff actually just mostly indicates how difficult it is to actually arrange the move. It's not really necessarily how much it hurts you to do it or whatever, how difficult it is to do it. Obviously, that's all determined by the Tonal when it picks the weights that you're doing, the weight levels that you're doing. So it's actually like balance and things like that that determines the rating of how difficult it is. And of course, you got your coaches. Again, Akeem is the best. He really is awesome. There's a whole bunch of them. And then you've actually got, of course, tutorial stuff. I guess that's all there is on that. I haven't even played with that yet. Finally, custom. And this is, wait a second. I forgot a big one. Filters. So filters is actually what I was using to find things. So here you can really drill down and find pretty much anything you want. I'm not sure if hopefully my exposure compensation is not too high on this, or my ISO, because it's a little bit bright. I hope you can see this. But anyway, you can checkbox whatever it is you want. And like arrow, I mean, you can pick what it is you want here. Format, so you can do live workouts, classic, custom programs. You can pick your coach. It's got nifty little avatars there next to them, so that looks really neat. Again, your goal, get lean, build muscle, improve fitness. Training goal, this is like a secondary goal. How long it is, the body region that it works, the level, again, we talked about that. And the muscle groups. Look, you can even pick, and it shows you a little indicator of which muscle groups are currently good and bad. And as you do this, it just filters instantly for the programs that match. If you ask me, this is fantastically done. I think it's really good. This whole thing is Android based, but it feels really smooth. The processor is clearly fast enough. It never feels laggy. You can even do body weight only exercises, which I had my 11-year-old doing the other day. He really enjoyed that with Akeem. So, and there's some really neat ones. And there's a whole lot. I mean, look at all these workouts you can choose from. There is no lack for content whatsoever. This is all body weight stuff. Isn't this crazy? So if you're worried about not finding enough to do, don't worry about that. There is plenty to do. I mean, there is a ton of content on this thing. A ton. So anyway, I mean, I don't even know how many arrow things there are. There's probably a lot, despite the fact that this just launched. That can't be right, can it? Arrow, body weight only. Let me go back here and see. Let's go back. Oh yeah, here's the arrow stuff. I don't know if I did that right. But there's a lot. I mean, look at this. That's a lot for something that just launched on Tonal 2. And it's a very specific category. So you really need, really impressed by that. And again, custom, you can kind of just do your own stuff. So this is where you get all the tracking, you get all of the coaching cues and all that stuff. But you can just pick what movement you want to do. And there are a whole lot of them. Again, a whole lot of them. I'm not sure. This is not the right thing. I have not done this yet, so I apologize for this. All movements. Here we go. So it's giving me safety tips, just generic safety tips. Here we go. So now you can pick, kind of popular ones. You can pick your own. I don't have the ankle straps yet. I wish I did. They don't exist, basically. Accessory required. Yes, I know. I wish you would make those available. And then these are just, look at this. And so if I pick one, it'll show me, how this works. So I'm not sure if there's any, I don't know if there's any audio on this. Usually there's like an audio that shows you how to do it, but an audio clip. But I mean, it shows somebody doing the exercise. And you get really good coaching cues, I've discovered, during the exercise. Like you can do warm-up sets. There are lots of options for how you want it to train. So you can do, these are various things that change how the tonal adjusts the weight in the middle of the reps and throughout the sets. So Smart Flex, for instance, you automatically adds more weight when you're your strongest, and it removes it when you're at your weakest. Eccentric increases resistance when you're on the way back down, like during the lowering phase, basically, right? Which is actually really cool. And they do this a lot on the programs. They'll enable this, a lot, because it really makes a huge difference on gains. Apparently, you can train and be time under tension is a lot higher. Basically, time under tension is a lot higher. So, and then chains just basically makes it feel like you're lifting with chains. Seems a little gimmicky to me, but it's kind of cool. I mean, it increases the resistance at the top because, if you're doing free weights normally, you get a lot of momentum. There is no momentum with this thing. So the weight, again, feels a lot heavier than it actually is, which I think makes a difference. And then with assistance, spotter will actually basically help you like a spotter would, which is really neat. And then burnout kicks in and reduces the weight, like it says, so that you can finish it without messing up your form in case you can't make it all the way through a set. This happens a lot automatically on these programs. They'll enable these things and mention it to you. The coaches will say, we've turned on burnout and we've lowered the reps by 1 and this kind of stuff. Let's go to failure. And it really does make a big difference on training capability. But I'm just going to keep scrolling through these. I mean, look at all these moves. So there's like 300 moves or something of that nature. There's a whole lot. Maybe you can pause and kind of see stuff that you're interested in. But you're not going to have any trouble finding things to do with this. You can do just about any strength training exercise that you can conjure up. Pretty amazing. Here's just a quick look at the Android app. I do not have an iPhone, so I can't show you the iPhone version, but I suspect it's probably very similar. It's pretty well made. You get your leaderboard coming from the bottom up here. Some achievements, kind of, gamifying the whole thing. Again, muscle readiness, showing you what's recovering, what's fresh, etc. That's a really cool feature. Your strength score and how it's progressed. Again, look at my lower being so much lower than my upper. That's got to be a mistake. I've got to have this reevaluation done when I get the replacement unit. It's probably got something to do with that. Muscle growth, strength, endurance, really neat. It makes it very clear. There's your dates. You can see what you're going to do each given day or what you did previously. Activities, it can show you what you did. And if you click on a particular workout, you can go in and see the movements. Well, actually, first of all, you get your overview, and then you can see your movements. And in the movements section, you can watch actual videos, if you've enabled this, of you working out, and it will give you coaching cues, and you can review them after it's done to see where you screwed up. See, watch here, you'll see in just a moment here. I don't know why that glitched out there, but now it's going to show me, see, I need to keep my shoulders level. And sometimes it'll actually show a little diagram of like where you messed up, which I think is a really cool feature. So that's good for not getting injured. Over here, you can explore things. This is not dissimilar to what you'll find on the actual Tonal itself. You can customize your own workout or build your own. And then of course you've got settings and things like that. And here you can turn on and off Smart View and video clip storage. Here's where you connect, like I mentioned, to Health Connect for Google, and I gave it access to all these things. I did notice you have to launch the app, by the way, for it to sync. Hopefully they fix that in the future so it does it in some sort of background cron job. So that's kind of annoying. So if I want it to appear on my feeds, I have to launch it first and allow it to sync, but it does it anyway. And then you can connect Apple Music and Amazon Music, like I mentioned earlier, Strava if you're into that, et cetera, et cetera. So really well done, actually. I mentioned I was going to get into the pricing and my thoughts on that stuff. Might as well do it right now while we're talking about this. So you do actually promise when you buy the product effectively a 12-month subscription that you will do for $60 per month. And honestly, I cannot see a situation where it would make sense to cancel that because frankly, it kind of gives you everything you need on the product. I mean, if you cancel it, it becomes a really, really sub-functional version of itself. You can still set like weight and you can still track your own weight and your own reps and all that stuff, but it does nothing else. It gives you no pointers. It doesn't keep track of anything. There's no history of what you've done, et cetera, which is really a lacking. It doesn't feel like it's worth anything close to the money. So you basically have to plan on paying indefinitely $60 per month with this thing if you really want to make it count and if it's worth it to you. So yes, it's not just an expensive product. And by the way, it costs a lot. Most of the time, if you add up the accessories, if you add a warranty even, you're well over $5,000 at that point. Even with promotional pricing, it's usually close to about $5,000 plus tax. If you don't buy the warranty, which is $449 extra for 5 years, basically adds 3 more years of warranty, labor, and parts, of course, and of course accidental damage as well, which is kind of nice. So it might be worth it for a lot of people, depending on how you look at it. Probably, again, like less hassle if you actually do have a problem with the product. But is it worth it? I don't know. I mean, I bought one because I just didn't want to have to worry about it for 5 years, frankly. And $449 is not really that bad. I do know that when you pay with a credit card, obviously you get another year of warranty typically on products like this anyway. But accidental damage means something to me to some degree also, because you don't know what they're going to tell you is your fault versus their fault, especially if a company does have some financial concerns or something. And I don't know if they do. They're probably fine, honestly. They say they're in better financial health than they used to be. And, honestly, if I get like a few years out of this thing, I'm going to feel okay about it. I would love to get 10. I would love to get 15. You know what I mean? It looks like a product that I would love to use indefinitely. It is life-changing. But the cost, just to come back to my thoughts on this, is it expensive? Of course it's expensive. It's very expensive. Most people would not even think about buying this thing, I think. But if you're serious about it and you budget for it and you don't mind budgeting the $60 per month, basically indefinitely, yes, I think you should buy this product. I really, really think you should. It is unlike anything else on the market. There is nothing else that truly competes with it. And it's an investment in your future. It's an investment in your health. And if it's something that's going to make you stronger and more balanced in your actual health, and it probably will, because I really sincerely doubt you're doing, all 200 something of these movements on your own. That's something that you just cannot get anywhere else unless you hire a personal trainer and they happen to be as good at keeping track of everything and all that stuff. And I really doubt they will be. I mean, this is honestly kind of the future of fitness. So as per our usual arrangement, of course, I received one with an actual problem from Tonal, from the company. It's almost like these companies do this to me on purpose. I guess it does make for interesting YouTube content, doesn't it? But what happens to me is after about 20 or 30 minutes of training of any kind of exercise, these stop responding. And not just on any accessory, but on all accessories. So these buttons on the handles stop responding. The bar control module button stops responding. It will not reliably turn the weight on and off. And the longer I exercise for, the less reliable it becomes, until eventually it doesn't work at all, it seems. And that doesn't just stop with the accessories. I also cannot adjust the arms because these are also Bluetooth connected. So I can't adjust the arms reliably. It's kind of a bummer. So anyway, they have scheduled a replacement. It's already been shipped out. In fact, RXO, which is the company that installs here in Louisville, it's usually one of a couple different companies, I think, that install these things in every region. They are scheduled to come out in like 3 weeks. It's kind of a bummer they can't do it sooner because the replacement apparently is really quick compared to the installation. It's about 30 minutes total at most. All they have to do is take some screws out of the side. If I understand, they leave the bracket on the wall and they just lift the Tonal trainer off and they replace it with the new trainer, put the new screws on. That's pretty much it. So it's a bummer. You have to like tap to turn the weight on the screen. Otherwise, if you don't want to sleep it and wait, in my case, if I had a theory as to what's happening, by the way, if you even care about this, it's probably something to do with heat, I would imagine, on the wireless adapter. And the wireless adapter is probably not modular, probably soldered to the internal board. And the reason I say that is they didn't even suggest replacing a component, which I'm kind of happy about because it's a brand new unit. I'd rather get one made by Foxconn than one made by the Pair Professional. But having said that, it's a bummer because after like 30 minutes, it seems like it builds up enough probably heat to where it doesn't work. And if you put it to sleep for a couple of minutes, it seems to improve. The longer you sleep it for, the better it gets. So anyway, enough about the technical nerd stuff. I'm not sure if that's why you came here, but if it is, you're here for the right reasons. But I'm going to show you the rest of the stuff now. All right, so now I'm actually just going to do like a demo workout here. And I realize I don't have any shoes on, by the way, but I hurt my toe, so don't make fun of me on that. Also, don't make fun of me on the weight, because here's the thing. First of all, it's not really adjusted to me yet. But number two, electromagnetic weight is a lot harder than normal free weight because there's no momentum. And it actually feels quite a bit heavier than actual real weight. It's definitely not adjusted to my strength yet, but supposedly it kind of adapts as you go so you don't injure yourself. And it's been a little while since I've done strength training, to be fair. I'm very off and on. So I'm already kind of sort of in the middle of one of these workouts here, so I'm just going to push play.
Break time's over. Back up on your feet. Come on. In the spirit of the wave blows, we are now going.
This guy's great.
6 reps. Now, I think the 6 reps is that sweet spot for us to break that PR. Focus on that power. We practice that 1-2 hold to generate that momentum and explode up top. Do what you can. Plant the feet. Find your grip. BCM check. Fully extend those arms.
I'm going to push this and the weight's going to turn on.
Turn that weight on. Once again, we have 6 reps and 25 seconds to complete it. Focus on your power. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Explode up. Good. Control it down. Same line of pull. Take a look at that power wheel. You above 80% or no?
You see the graphs?
Good. Change mode kicks in.
How they're kind of showing how well I'm doing at the power. And you can see I can turn the weight off. See? I've got a PR here. It's pretty cool, right? So, and they kind of adjust these routines so that you don't have to move things around so much. They're very efficient in their design. So watch. The next one's going to be a barbell overhead press. It actually shows me the next move here in a second. So it's going to show me what I'm working. Watch. See?
Check.
Just goes right to it. No time wasted.
Bottom of the arms to tonal. Check. Right underneath the chin to the shoulders. Hold it. Turn that weight on. Deep breath. 6 reps. 25 seconds to complete it. Then 3, 2, 1. Up. Good. The only time I want speed is when you press it up. But I want you to hold and own the movement up top. Good. Control it down. Focus on the speed as you press up.
And again,
underneath the chin, weight goes off.
Again, you really can kind of do it at your own pace. You don't have to necessarily go with the guide, with the coach, and you don't even have to use a coach. You can do your own moves if you want to. But I do find that some of these guys are really good. Specifically, Akeem is pretty fantastic. He's relatable. He's obviously strong, and he's got a really good setup here. It really works well for me, actually.
Wow. I think that was my best set yet. How's that for you? It's okay.
You know, the other thing is too, you know, they really actually add a lot of sets here, and they're actually doing wave loading. In this case, I'm doing 8, 6, 8, 6 on the reps for both of these exercises. So the weight goes up a little bit on the 6 and it goes down a little bit on the 8. And they have things like chains mode, which at the top makes it feel like it's giving more resistance. And there's a bunch of other things too, like eccentric mode kicks in where it makes it harder on the reduction, you know, on the movement back down and things like that. So it is really cool, and you do get much more of a workout than you think. To give you some context, not too long ago, I was benching 185, by 5 for sets, which is not great, but I never had really good upper body. My lower body's kind of been beastly. My upper body's not. So anyway, but having said that, I'm doing much lower on this, but I'm still getting really good workouts, and it's because of how they set these things up and the electromagnetic weight. So it's really very efficient.
So just watch how the weight moves up and down on this chains mode thing with eccentric and chains and all that while I'm doing these exercises. Okay. Keep an eye on the screen.
You hear me? Underneath the chin, right to the chest. Let's try your best. Knuckles to the sky. Weight goes on. Let's go. In 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, up. Bring it down.
Watch, here it comes on the second rep.
Up. Good.
After
Bring
this
it down. Smart flex and burnout to assist. 1, 2, up. Love it. 1, 2, explode. Hold it. 1, 2, up. Last one, best one. 1, 2, up. Good. To the chin, to the chest. Weight goes off.
So obviously I probably should be doing more weight than this, but I'm letting it kind of work on it because I think it understaffed me to begin with. It kind of gave me lower numbers than probably it should have. That's okay. I think it's supposed to avoid you getting injured. They do a lot of stretches too, and this is really helpful. I never used to do these. All right, so you can see I've adjusted the arms and now the barbell's above because I'm doing some lat pull downs, and I did have to put mine to sleep because again I have a hardware problem and it has to rest for a couple of minutes, and I'm already nearly halfway through the workout. So unfortunately I have to wait about 2 minutes, which is kind of a cool down, which sucks. Hopefully when I get my replacement that all gets fixed, and I'm sure that it will.
Right back to that overhand grip. Have a seat. We're going right back to that barbell. Seated, lat pull down. We've got 6 reps and 25 seconds to complete it. With the arms fully extended, shoulders aligned with the arms, go ahead and turn that weight on. Brace yourself. Focus. Heavy, baby. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Remember your 2 checkpoints. Foot extension, right underneath the chin to the chest. In order to get that essential, you have to hold it down below and control it up top. Love it, love it, love
God,
it.
so much weight was pulling up on it. It looks super goofy looking, probably. Did you see how it gave me that tip when I was in the middle of the rep?
Good job.
because my barbell kind of tilted on me, so it watches that and it knows based on the parameters that it measures, and it gives me a tip. And if you're not looking at the screen, it will read you the tip out loud, which is really cool.
Now again, this is a superset. Back to back. I don't want too much rest in between. Straddle the bench, get into that overhand grip, give me that hinge, give me that strong posture, and keep those arms straight. Go ahead and turn the weight on. Brace yourself. 8 reps, 40 seconds to complete it. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Yes. Fight that sensation of crouching over. Fight that sensation of bending your elbows, trying to get your biceps to help you through. We really want to isolate those lats. Even out that posture. So keep that chest up. Your gaze is where the wall and the floor meets. Just think strong. Big reach. Big squeeze. Good. Embrace that burn. I'm right here with you. And when you are done, do not
Really
stand
cool.
up.
Really well
Extend those
done,
arms.
and just
Turn the
it's
weight
really
on.
neat how you get these graphs,
Complete the exercise.
and it shows you what you're going to do next time.
Awesome
And you can
job.
even adjust your weight if you
All right.
want,
What's that? 2 down?
if you feel like you need
Yeah.
to.
1 more.
All right, I thought you might like to see a transition period here and how they do this. So I just got done with those workout sets, and now I'm moving on to the next one. Let's see how you instruct me how to do it.
Can't on arms. I got you. I need a side of thighs, please. Let's go ahead and get rid of the bench for now. Let's get rid of the barbell. Push the T-lock in, twist it out, and we're actually going to grab those handles. Your wish is my command. Same way they came out, it's the same way they're gonna go in. Pull the lever, bring 1 click up, pull the lever, 1 click up, pull the pulleys towards you, and bring it all the way down. Make sure they're nice and secure. All right, now very first movement in this block is going to be our alternating bicep curl. We're doing a lot of bilateral movements. Now we're going to switch it up just a little bit, just to engage that core even more. If you can, bring that mat in as well. Straight down the center. Create another space so you can stand and do those curls, all right? Let's go. Make sure the midline of your feet are aligned with the bottom of the arms are tonal. When I say alternate, I mean it. That means one side at a time. Palms are facing tonal, chest is proud, hips are square. 24 reps, sounds like a lot, but all I really need is 12 on each side. With the arms fully extended and that chest nice and proud, go ahead and turn that weight on.
See,
Squeeze the legs,
didn't
squeeze
work
the
for
glutes,
Zayner.
squeeze the core. We go in 3, 2, 1, work. Good. Squeeze up top and control it down. What'd you say? Oh, you like change mode with the bench press? It's cool. We got it here too. Squeeze up top, let that weight increase, and control it down. Good. Once again, this is not a race. We've got 80 seconds to complete it. Don't worry about the time. Just focus on your form with every single rep. Keep your elbows
It's
to your
way too
sides.
low of weight, I think, but it is a lot of
That
reps.
chest proud.
So we'll see.
And try to make every
I
rep.
don't know, maybe it's
better than
okay
the
because
last.
it goes up and down.
That's it. Good. No swaying, no flinging, no swinging. Love. Show me in control. We are almost there. Good. Whew. Now, whenever you are done, I want you to fully extend both arms, turn that weight off, bring it down towards the ground. Once again, this is your race. You set the pace. I just create the blueprint. Just get those reps in, okay? Breathe.
Pretty cool. I mean, and it definitely works. There's no question about it.
So what are my overall thoughts on this? Well, there are 2 things that really impressed me so far about this product in first impressions terms. Number 1 is the efficiency. It truly is that much more efficient than trying to work out with regular weights, free weights, and loading up the bar and changing your settings and keeping track of your PRs and how much you should be doing and how many reps you should be doing and all of these different things. What exercise you should do next, for crying out loud. Your muscle readiness. I mean, even that's kept track of by the tonal system, which is pretty impressive. And it does a really good job. It's very accurate as far as I can tell in terms of keeping track of those things. That alone is a huge plus, because if you're busy like I am, and I've talked about this a lot in my previous videos, buying time is really the most valuable thing you can do. If you can buy yourself more time and a healthier amount of time, like if you're healthier for longer in your life, like this thing is going to provide for you to be, and you're going to do more exercise, that stuff is nearly priceless in my opinion. So that's the first thing. And I'm going to talk more about that in future videos when I probably do a pros and cons of this after several weeks of use and stuff like that. But the second thing is just the breadth of exercise is truly impressive. And I'm not a person that typically would find myself captivated by guides and things like that. I don't really enjoy the idea of coaches teaching me how to exercise. I mean, listen, 15 years ago, I was working out with a buddy of mine, and we were literally we were like squat bros, right? We just did everything we could to be absolute beasts. And even though I don't look like I am now, it's 15 years later, and I've got 3 kids. 3 kids, I was pretty chiseled. I mean, I was into bodybuilding. It was a lot of fun. But here's the thing. It was not a balanced sort of strength. I was an absolutely strong person when it came to my lower body mostly. I mean, I had good, squat and deadlift strength, and my bench was okay and all that kind of thing. But I never had any of these stabilizer muscles worked properly, and I never did any of these exercises like the stretches and things like that in between because I never saw value in that, and I frankly didn't know about the exercises. There's like 300 different exercises on this thing. Anyway, there's 8 different routines here. It's like 45 minutes, 50 minutes a piece with Hakeem that I'm currently going through. I'm on number 7 that I just finished. And even just that has had a huge breadth of exercises that I've never even heard of before, or that I never thought to do. And some of them are really difficult, and they really do balance out the stuff that you're doing on a broader scale with the bigger, more common exercises. So that's impressive to me too. And again, that's the sort of thing that is very valuable if you're someone who's trying to gain a balanced type of strength, so that as you get older and you're able to, you want to maintain your strength and your capability as you age. And that's what this thing is all about. So those are the 2 things that so far impressed me the most. What I'm not impressed about is the fact that I have a unit that's got a problem, but apparently that's not very common. And again, I'm going to update you guys on how that goes and how the replacement is and all that kind of stuff. So far, though, the hardware seems good. I'm more than impressed with the interface, frankly, and the app on Android even is quite good. It does sync, by the way, through Health Connect, which is quite useful. I have an Oura Ring, as you probably know if you watched some of my previous videos. Like and subscribe. I'm kidding. And the Oura Ring's really awesome for stuff like sleep tracking and heart rate and stuff like that. But it actually works in tandem, again, with the Samsung Watch and all that stuff too, with the Health Connect system through Android. And my understanding is, they have the same sort of thing on Apple. In fact, I think it works better even on Apple, supposedly. But Health Connect works pretty well. When I do an exercise on this, it will now show up in Health Connect automatically because I've given Tonal the permission to add stuff to it. And then Aura will automatically pull down the Health Connect information and show my exercise in my daily activity. And it actually incorporates that into my calorie burn estimates and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. So, you get a very total picture of what you're doing each day. It does a really good job of giving you a comprehensive idea of what you're missing and what you need to do more of and that kind of stuff. So anyway, really impressed so far. This is an awesome product. Yes, I got one with a problem. I always seem to, but if you put that aside, there are so many things that are impressive about this. It is truly a revolutionary idea. So stay tuned. I'll be covering more of it, and I'll be telling you what I do and don't like about it as I get deeper into using it.